Laughter releases endorphins, which is a very good way to distress. Class, how do you do an overhead clear? First, you turn your body with the shoulder facing the shuttlecock. Then, bring your racket backward like you are scratching your back. And before you hit, move behind the shuttlecock. And when you are hitting, make sure you turn your whole body. Hey, there are three boys over there. There I am trying very hard to explain overhead clear. And there you are making fun of each other. I hate to admit this, but I realize very often when my students make fun of each other, I was partly at fault. Let me explain. First, every child wants to learn. But when there are too much information to figure out, like all the things I've said just now, the students may get cognitive overload. That's when they'll become stressed. And to balance that emotion, the brain wants to distress. Laughter releases endorphins, which is a very good way to distress. That is why sometimes our students may unconsciously make fun of each other, even though they know that is wrong. Of course, I can set a very strict rule that every time I talk, everybody must look at me. And if they don't, I'll give them a consequence. But if the students are having cognitive overload, they can't learn. Whether they were looking at me or not, they still could not learn. And what do you think will happen 2 weeks later? The students will tell me that they don't like the sport. Hence, the best way is still to teach in a way that they can learn. When I first learned badminton, it took me about 5 sessions to be able to maintain a rally. And it took me many more sessions to be able to hit the shuttlecock with the correct grip. If it took me so many sessions to learn one learning cue, what about our students? All the cues I've said just now can easily overwhelm any beginner. I could do them because I've played badminton all my life. But my students don't. Now, I will just ask the students to maintain a rally, and I will do that for at least 5 lessons. I will ask the students to count the number of consecutive hits and try to improve that number. But what about all the learning cues? I use a co-construction approach. After every practice, I will ask the students what worked well for you. Then I will write their ideas and cues on the whiteboard. But I will still tell the students that I don't expect them to be able to apply all the cues on the whiteboard. That's because I feel that there's no point in having that kind of expectation when I myself could not do it. I will just tell them to choose one learning cue and try. And I will keep emphasizing the point that to learn any skill, they must keep it simple and they must practice a lot. Too much too soon can only kill the joy of learning. I realized when the students were not stressed during the learning, they no longer make fun of each other. That's because the joy of learning itself releases dopamine and endorphins. They no longer need to make fun of each other anymore.